For learning objectives A and B, I'm going to show you how to make a scatter plot using the calculator, and then how to find the equation of what's called the regression line, and to find the linear correlation on the calculator. So the first thing I want to do though is talk about this method that was discovered. It was the method for finding what's called the line of best fit, and it was first published by a French mathematician by the name of Adrien Legendre back in 1805. So it's been around for quite a while. And what it's known as is this. You might be asked to find the line of best fit, or you might be asked to find the least squares line, or you might be asked to find the regression line. All of these will mean the same thing. It basically means find the equation of the line. Now, instead of using y equals mx plus b like we do by hand, our calculator actually does it. So the three important properties of a linear regression from the calculator is, let's actually start with number 3 because we just said it. What it's going to do is compute the slope and the y-intercept from the coordinates that we type into the calculator. Now, as it does this, what it does is it goes through and it looks at various lines and it computes and minimizes the sum of the squared residuals. And what it kicks back to you is the one line that has the smallest sum of squared residuals as the final answer. Now, this line will actually contain what's called the center of mass. And what the center of mass is the calculator goes in and reads all the x values from the ordered pairs and computes the mean. It takes all the y values of those ordered pairs and computes the mean. It then uses that point and kind of teeter-totters the line that it chooses on that particular point. So we're going to go back to our diamond ring examples where we had the 20 different diamond rings, different carat weights and different prices here in our XY table. And I'm going to show you how to actually put it into your calculator and find what we'd call the line of best fit, the regression line, the least squares line. So what you do for this is you actually are going to go and hit your stat button. So hit stat, and we're going to select the edit and then hit enter. When you do that, you're going to want to go into list 1 into list 2, and you're going to type the corresponding x and y values. As you type it, be careful. You need to match it up so you see the ordered pairs. So for example, this 0.25 and 963 need to be matching ordered pairs. Once you have the data in your calculator, then you're going to go back and you're going to hit stat again this time. But instead of staying on edit, use the right arrow on the calculator and go over to calc. And you're going to come down to number 4, which is line regress or linear regression. Look at the format. It's ax plus b, which looks like mx plus b. So then you select 4 and you hit enter. When you do that, you're going to come to this screen. On this screen, you need to tell it in what list are your x values and in what list are the y's. So remember, for me, I typed my x's in list 1, my y's in list 2. So go to second 1 to put list 1 in here, and second 2 to put list 2. Keep the frequency as blank, and just go right down to calculate, select that, and hit enter. When you do, the calculator will kick back with this information. And here's how you interpret it. It's in the format of y equals ax plus b. They're telling me that a is 5502.61. That's my slope. So I'm going to write this 5502.61x. Notice here that the b value is right there, and it's in the same spot that the y-intercept would be. That's our y-intercept. So I'm going to write negative 373.002. So that is the equation for the line. Now, if you had to do part B for this, they want you to find how much will a 0.5 carat diamond ring cost. All you have to do for that is take the 0.5 for x, put it into this equation, and simplify and see what you get. So if you do that for part B, you will get a total amount will be $2,378.10. Okay. Now, part C here wants us to verify that the center of mass actually sits on the equation of this line. All you need to do for part C would be this. You're going to take the x value from here and the y value from here and put it into the equation and make sure that both sides equal. When you plug it in, it'll look like this green equation, and what you're going to do is if you simplify the right-hand side here, you will notice that the right-hand side will total $793.65, which confirms that the center of mass does sit on the line that the calculator kicked back. Now in part D, they want us to find the sum of the squared residuals for the linear regression model. And let me tell you what happens. Once you do a linear regression on the calculator, so for example, we did stat calculate number 4 linear regress. What it does is it actually stores the residuals in the calculator, and I'll show you how to find those. If you go to the calculator and you don't just hit the stat button, but you do second stat, so you get to the list, you're going to have these show up. So again, hit second stat. The residuals are right here under number 7. Now in some of the calculators, they have more information than just list 1 to list 6, so you may have to scroll down to find them. So know that's where they are. What we ultimately want to do is we're going to click back on Stat Edit and get back to our lists right here. When you're in the list, go actually up into list 3. Go to the very top of it so you're highlighting list 3. When you're in there, now go back and click, and you're going to click second stat, which will bring you to the list, and drop down to number 7 and hit enter. When you do that, what's going to happen is it's going to put the residuals in there. Go to your calculator and hit enter. After I do that, it's going to populate list 3 with the residuals. So what it did for me is did observed minus predicted, and it put the residuals here for me already. Again, you have to run a brand new regression and then it stores them in there. Now, those are the residuals. I want to go and square them. Easy enough. Go over to list 4 and go to the very top and highlight that. And then what I'm going to do is go down here and type list 3 squared. So I'll go second number 3 and then square it and hit enter. And what it will do, it will populate in here, list 4, it will actually put all the squared residuals. Okay, now once you're out of there, you're going to have to hit second quit. So go over to second quit and get out of that screen. You're now going to be just on the normal calculator screen. And what I want it to say is to tell it to go sum list number 4, which is going to have all my squared residuals in it. Well, that sum number is, again, I have to hit second stat to get to the same screen. You'll find the sum not in the names, but you have to scroll over to math, which is right over here. Go down to number 5 and hit enter, and it'll put sum on the screen. Then do second number 4 to put list 4 there. Then when you hit enter, it will actually compute for you the sum of the squared residuals without having to do it by hand. Now I'm going to show you how to do the entire process of making a scatter plot, and then we'll quickly review the linear regression. So if you look at this data set number 1 here, we have 5 ordered pairs. So what you want to do from the start is you're going to hit stat and then select edit and go in here and find the list 1 and list 2 and type your ordered pairs. Once you have your ordered pairs in, let's make the scatter plot. And what you're going to do is if you look here, it says stat plot above the y equals button. That's what we're trying to get to. So to get to there, you do second y equals, and you come to this screen right here. We're going to actually go into this plot and hit enter. When you hit enter, you come to this screen. Now make sure to go to on and hit enter to turn it on, and then arrow down. This one here is the scatter plot, so select the scatter plot. When you do it, it's going to ask you where are your x's and where are your y's. My x's are list 1 and list 2, so I put the corresponding lists. And then I can select markers or colors if I want. Now I'm not sure what window my graphing calculator is in, so what I'm going to do next is get ready to graph it. So I'm going to click Zoom, and on Zoom you're going to scroll down to number 9, which says Zoom Stats. If you click Zoom Stats and hit Enter, it will actually plot for you this scatter plot right up here. So we have the scatter plot. We know what the dots look like. It looks fairly linear. Let's review how to run the linear regression. Remember, you're going to hit Stat, and you're going to go over to Calculate, go down to number 4, Linear Regress. Hit Enter. You're going to be asked what lists your X and your Y's are in. Keep frequency at 0, hit Calculate. When you do that, you're going to get this calculator output. From this, I can write the equation. It looks like the slope is 10, so it goes, A is 10, so it's 10x, B is negative 70. So the equation for this line is y equals 10x minus 70. One thing I do want to point out on here is on the regression screen, what we're going to talk about in the next video is what's called the correlation. The correlation is the letter R on the calculator. So if they ask you what is the correlation of your line, you just run your regression and you read the letter R and get the correlation from there.